From the moment Ethan boarded the flight back to Chicago with his 6-year-old son, Oliver, he felt that tight, familiar tug of exhaustion behind his eyes. Being a single dad wasn't easy. It meant half-packed backpacks, spilled juice boxes, and an aching emptiness where his late wife's laughter used to echo. All he really wanted was a quiet flight home, a nap maybe, or at least a moment when Oliver would lean on his shoulder and just be. But life, as Ethan had learned, rarely cared about what you wanted. When he reached the row, Ethan saw Kira already seated by the window, a young woman in army fatigues, pressed and neat, her boots scuffed from places she'd probably never talk about. She looked barely out of her 20s, but her eyes blue, guarded the were older than they should have been. Ethan gave her a small nod as he settled Oliver between them. The soldier offered a polite smile but said nothing, staring instead at the tarmac outside, her hands clenched white around a dog tag that hung from her neck. Half an hour into the flight, Oliver, with a child's boundless curiosity, whispered, "Daddy, is she a hero?" The soldier flinched. Ethan hushed his son, embarrassed. But when Oliver drifted off to sleep, his head on Ethan's lap, the silence between the two adults turned heavy. That's when Ethan heard it, so soft, he almost thought he imagined it. "I'm alone." The words slipped from her lips like an accidental confession. Ethan glanced over. She stared ahead, jaw trembling, eyes glassy but dry like she'd already cried herself empty long before this plane took off. He knew he should mind his own business. He was just a stranger. But something about the way she sat there, so small in her uniform, so desperately trying not to need any dug into a part of him that still remembered what it was like to sit in a hospital waiting room and whisper "I'm alone" to no one at all. "Hey," Ethan said gently. "Are you okay?" She sniffed, startled. "Sorry, I didn't mean for you to hear that." "Don't apologize," he said. "I'm Ethan. This sleepy guy is Oliver." "What's your name?" She hesitated, then whispered, "Claire." They talked quietly, in bits and pieces. Her story came out. She'd just finished her final tour overseas. She had no family waiting back home. Her parents were gone. Her only brother estranged for years. Her leave papers were supposed to feel like freedom. Instead, they felt like a door slamming shut. "Home doesn't feel like anything now," she said, her voice cracking. "I didn't even know where I was gonna go after this flight." Ethan felt a lump in his throat. He looked down at Oliver, who had begun to snore softly, blissfully unaware. It hit Ethan then how many nights he'd prayed for help when he first lost his wife. How many times he'd been saved by the kindness of a friend, a neighbor, even a stranger in a grocery store aisle. He learned, painfully, that sometimes the family you need isn't the one you're born with, it's the one you build when you're brave enough to open your door. "Claire," he said, clearing his throat, "listen, I know we don't know each other, but a broken bar come with us." She frowned. "What? Come home with us?" "Just for now. I have a spare room. Oliver calls it the A superhero room. You can stay until you figure things out. You shouldn't have to sit alone in some motel when you've done so much for the rest of us." Tears pooled in Claire's eyes, but she shook her head. "You don't even know me." "Why would you do that?" "Because I've been alone, too," Ethan said simply. "And because Oliver's right, you are a hero. You deserve to feel like someone's got your back for once." When the plane landed, Claire didn't have to decide alone. Oliver woke up, blinking at the two grown-ups in tears. He yawned, then grinned at her. "Are you coming to our house? I have a blanket for it." Claire laughed, a sound that surprised them both. And in that fragile moment, all the broken parts inside her seemed to find a place to rest. 6 months later, if you peeked through the window of Ethan's little townhouse on a Sunday morning, you'd see Claire, hair pulled into a ponytail, laughing as she helped Oliver build the world's most unstable pillow fort. Ethan would be in the kitchen, flipping pancakes, glancing over now and then at the woman who'd once whispered she was alone. But not anymore. Sometimes family finds you in the unlikeliest place, as a crowded plane, a whispered confession, a child's sleepy grin. Sometimes, all it takes is one person brave enough to say, "Come with me." And sometimes, that simple act of kindness is what makes us whole again.